I think that at that age, having, when they're starting to do things outside the house, we have a lot of customers that are telling us that they purchased a phone for their kids because of maybe it's a single family home or divorced parents, and they want an easy way to keep in touch because there's a third party involved in raising the child in some way. So having that direct communication with the kid helps there. I'm sorry I don't have a better, too much. That's all.
You don't have to. I don't have an answer myself.
Well, if you wanted perspectives that broaden, I don't know that I provided that.
Well, I could bring my kids up here and they could broaden our perspectives about how much is too much. But I think, the idea of keeping in touch, it's communicating with each other. And I'm thinking that that's where we turn to Robbie. And we talk about the kinds of tools that help us to communicate on a daily basis, maybe help us to even come together as a family, even as these calendars and scheduling devices appear to be sending us in opposite directions from one another.
Yeah, it's, this question you pose actually sits at the sort of symbolic center of what it is that Cozy is all about. So it's kind of funny if you put it out there as the first question. It is literally one of the founding elements of Cozy. When we formed the company 4 years ago, we were a bunch of high-tech guys, a bunch of ex-Microsoft guys, who saw this trend, who saw the trend of technology claiming, with social networking and with email and text messaging, technology claiming to bring people closer together, when in truth, it was pushing them apart. I mean, we had an image, I remember, on the first pitch deck that we brought for fundraising. We had this image of a family. It was 2 kids and 2 parents sitting on a couch in front of a television. Dad was watching sports on the television. Mom was on the phone. Teenage, Jane was text messaging her friend, and 11-year-old, John was on his game board.
Can I break in here to say, at least they were in the same room?
Yes, and you know what? Now that they're in the same room, okay. I mean, that even makes it more crazy. Like, they're in the same room, and you've described it before. This is what technology is doing. People driving in a car don't have to even be listening to the same radio station anymore because they've all got their personal music.
But should we have to? I mean, have you listened to what they listen to?
Granted, and something that we sit down, because we're an advertising-based product. Our product is free. Something that I often talk to our advertisers about is I say, there's not much media anymore that families consume as a group. I think PBS, might be one of the last ones. How much media, I mean TV, movies, do you actually consume together with your entire family experience? I mean, it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Advertisers can't even reach a family as a unit anymore.
Then what do you think about that?
Actually, I wonder, can I comment on an earlier point?
Yeah. Just don't punch anybody.
So I have a couple comments on this question. One is, just my personal feeling is, I think there's devices that are tools, whether they're tools that allow you to communicate, collaborate, play together, learn and grow together. And those are the ones with the potential to bring a family together. The ones that are noisy, that are going to isolate you, that are going to take away your attention, are going to tend to be the ones that drive you apart. Well, I guess my question is, you kind of brought up this idea of, there's lots of, everybody in the family is on different devices. So let's say I'm sitting there on my Game Boy, how are you doing, Johnny? Well, and I'm kind of, my focus is, I'm multitasking. I mean, it seems to me that there's a little bit of a generational thing. Kids tend to be great multitaskers, and we're not quite as good at it, probably. And so we, maybe we're interpreting multitasking, as something that's driving us apart. And maybe it's not real.
I think we're going to have to let the these professionals, you know, people were looking at, you know, audiology and sociology and relationships. I actually think there is a basic level of mental capacity around this multitasking. I don't buy it. You know, I think they'll say they're multitasking, and yet are they really connecting with you when you talk to them? You know, in our family, and you know, to kind of go to the solution, we made a really strong effort to have dinner together as a family every single night. You know, when we formed Cozy, we set an audacious goal for the company that we would build technology that would improve the relationships between members of the family. For example, and you know, I think the bottom line when we say, you know, how do technology companies do this? You know, our perspective is they do it from the ground up. Like literally, they've got to be thinking about how what they're building is